Good morning, steak. Wow. First and foremost, that hat.
I knew you were going to like it.
It's beautiful. Do you have a new camera?
No, but hey, I like everything you're saying.
You look good, though. You look good. Maybe it's been a while since I've seen you. Wow, I'm getting pale and pasty as a motherfucker. Maybe it's just my lighting. Good to see you. Good morning. How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing great. We got some steaks in the chat. Steak, you were very much missed by the community. People were asking about you constantly. They said, "Can we please get a real ball knower up here?" DJ just rambles and blabbers on about nonsense. But you know what? I got the nicest compliment I've ever gotten from Alan Dims last Monday or Tuesday. I think he said it was one of the most locked in I've ever been when we went through the first preview of the tournament. So that was very nice. Rowdy Rhymes with a new follow, Ryder SB with a new follow. Good morning, everybody. Hello in YouTube. Please make sure we're up to 1,150 subscribers in YouTube. We love that. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube page. Like the stream too while you're at it. Doesn't take much effort. Good for the algorithm. Helps us out. Hello everybody in Twitch. We're gonna do a hoodie giveaway today. I owe 2 hoodies from Saquon, Offensive Player of the Year, and Jared Verse, Defensive Player of the Year. I did say I was going to give 2 hoodies away if they hit. And then last night, a Sweet 16 parlay cash. Thank you, Mr. Derek Queen, with the buzzer beater. Steak, did you bet that buzzer beater? I saw you were kind of into it.
I didn't bet it, but I did bet Maryland live when they were down 4, I think, at plus 120. So that was a nice hit for me.
I saw your notification, and then I also saw your notification for Michigan State money line minus 290, which I very much respected that wager because they play so gross and disgusting, and you knew New Mexico was probably going to muck it up. But once I saw Betting Queen was on the money line and the spread, I actually almost cashed out. But you know what? Your voice was in my head because you did say trust your reads. Doesn't matter what anybody's on. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to be a bitch. Not going to be a bitch. Had a pretty good day. That was the only bet I lost. But the reads have gotten good. So it's been bumpy to start with my Georgia best bet losing, but a nice Sunday. How is your March Madness going?
Not great, man. I guess I see what's happening and I still refuse to believe it. Actually, Michigan State was the first time I just believed it was just fully going to be chalk. That's why I took Michigan State, because I was like, you know what, man? Fucking Colorado State couldn't even pull off this upset. This is just the chalkiest tournament ever. We just need to accept it. And then Betting Queen was on New Mexico. I was like, yeah, this is what it is. Even Arizona came back and won. I'll be honest, because I'm like the guy who I feel like started calling out fake sharps in the beginning of fake sharpness.
Sure were.
I'm fake sharp this tournament. I can't get on the right side. Like, for example, I like St. Mary's, and I look and I see all the fucking idiot CBS experts like St. Mary's too. And I realize, like, I'm the one falling for all the fake sharp lines this tournament. Pretty much every lean I have is fake sharp. I go back and I look and I see like, oh, wow, everybody really likes St. Mary's. I would have never thought that. But I guess it's just what kind of tournament it is. Everybody keeps thinking like we're gonna get these big upsets, but I think we can officially lay that to rest.
Yeah, well, I feel like there was like a tale of 2 narratives. The one observation. Other than that, you're right. I was like fiending, and it's so funny because this is why, you always like something that works one year doesn't necessarily work the other. Remember the infamous bet every dog on the money line strategy,
of course.
Where our guy Gavin McHugh, best voice in the industry, made a viral video going on about that this year. Somebody told me he copped that from Matty Betts, which is funny. But last year it was profitable. You had a couple big ones that came through and cashed. And it's just so funny that now this year it becomes more mainstream. And I do not believe you are up money if you did that. I think the only dogs that really hit like worthwhile dogs were Arkansas. Arkansas was 5.5 point dog, 4.5 point dogs. Kansas, McNeese, and Drake. So you got 3, but when there's 32 games, you need at least like 6 or 7, and maybe one bigger spread. And then yesterday, I think it was Colorado State was close. New Mexico never really had a pulse, and then Kentucky was a dog, but they opened a favorite. Florida made it interesting, so there's not a lot of surprises. But you know what? As we progress and get into the tournament further, we're going to be happy that things are transpiring the way they are. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And I'll say two things. One, if you bet every dog on the money line this tournament, I think you're down bigly. And two, I made that tweet about how this is the most unentertaining round of 64 ever. And I'd say about 40% of the comments were saying, well, it's going to be so good now because all the good teams are still left. And I 100% agree. Like, I'm fucking looking at the Sweet 16 and I'm like, this is going to be awesome. There's so many good games.
Very excited. And by the way, on that note, if you are going to Newark there's some really good games on Thursday, BYU, Bama, and then I think Arizona, Duke. If you're going to be in Newark, let me know. I have not been to Newark in the 12 years almost that I've lived in New York. Never been to Newark. I've been to New Jersey a few times, so I'm going to go get some eyes on it. I think I'll probably go to that game on Thursday night. So let me know if you're going. I don't know what the bar scene is like. I'll have to do some digging and go from there. But yeah, I'm really excited for these Sweet 16 matchups. And I'm doing what I did 2 years ago and like throwing out the line, throwing out what's contrarian, throwing out like splits. I'm just kind of leaning into what I think I know ball knowledge wise. It's worked out more so than it hasn't, but I've definitely had some spots where I've been wrong. And so far, fading Michigan State twice has not been the right move. Fading Purdue when I did was not the right move. Thankfully, I stayed off of High Point because I did let that trendy dog thing get into my head, but finally came through with Iowa State, fading Iowa State. And thank you to that because you kind of put me over the edge. I'm a little pissed I didn't take the money line. But I think you or Greg said in the group chat yesterday, like this team needs like a Jack Golke, or this tournament needs like a fun, swaggy dude. And Ole Miss kind of has that with Padula.
Yeah.
So and a good coach. So that was great. Steak, we've got a lot to discuss, and I think that Mondays are always great for recapping before we've got all week to really talk about the bets that we're going to be placing. And you and I aren't necessarily ones to punch anything in on a Monday morning. We consume as much as we possibly can. So what I think would be best for today is let's recap the games. Let's talk about some takeaways. I've got a lot. And I've got a lot of notes that I want to take. But the other thing I was going to say is round one, Big Ten, I think we're 8-0 ATS. SEC looked like they may have been a little fraudulent with Missouri going down.
How could that be? People saying that when they have 7 teams in the Sweet 16.
Well,
that's crazy.
In round one, you had Alabama that looked poo-poo. You had Missouri that went down. You had another team that lost. Mississippi State.
Vanderbilt.
And you had one more. No, Arkansas did just fine. I think there was one more team Auburn didn't necessarily look great. Georgia, that's what it was. So it definitely had some like stains, but not enough. Basically, it redeemed itself in the round of 16. I'm sorry, the round of 32. And then the Big Ten finally took its first blow with Wisconsin going down. I don't know if there was another team that did. Yeah, that's right. What's up, Bryson? How you doing? What's up, everybody? I didn't even get to the messages. DJ and Hairline looks like it's making a return. Good shit. Chiote, thank you. Newark is lit. Interesting take. Proud to say I'm up 25.9 for the first and second round. Worked my ass off for it. Great job, Aloha. How have you not been to Prudential? I don't know. I think that's an easy thing not to do.
I have a stupid question. Who plays there?
The New Jersey Devils, and I think the New Jersey Nets used to play there. Just the Devils. So Newark's got an international airport. I've flown into Newark. I guess I shouldn't say I've never been to Newark, but I have never been to the Prudential Center for a Devils game. But if anybody knows anything, let me know. Indiana should have easily been in over Texas and fraud UNC. Stop it, Snowman. Indiana is not good. Georgia, Vandy were both dogs. What's your point? Every top tier SEC school is still alive. Yeah, but some of the teams, my point is that's a good handful, a good chunk of teams in the SEC got clapped.
All I'm going to say is when you put that many teams in the tournament, some are going to lose. I think it's funny that people are still trying to say the SEC is overrated with 7 teams in the Sweet 16, and I really haven't heard a peep about the trash-ass Big East. Who's been more disappointing than the Big East? They got nobody left.
The Big East was real bad. And I thought with Xavier making it that it may have had a chance to go over that 5.5 wins for the tournament. Real bad showing from the Big East. Why even have a board review when you just parlay all the favorites in this economy? Yep, all 14 weren't going to advance. No, I understand. And let me just be clear. I'm not here saying the SEC stinks. That's just what people were talking about in that moment of Thursday and Friday. But yeah, all right, let's get into it. So we don't need to recap round one, but I think we should recap round two. So I want to go to Saturday. Purdue and McNeese. Steak, you were on McNeese? I already know it. I was on McNeese for the first half. Terrible wagers. I even said I know going into this bet it's probably going to lose. I watched McNeese against Clemson. McNeese was not very good, but I'm curious to know from your takeaway in this game, how do you feel? Let's see how we look when we're zoomed up. Maybe sit back a little bit. How do you feel? Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Actually, you look great. How do you feel about Purdue?
I like them a lot more than you do.
Okay. So but here's the thing. I tweeted this, and shout out Alan Dims because he's absolutely right. The pro style of betting is not overreacting. Not overreacting. I tweeted this to Auburn and not overreacting to Purdue, and instead buying low on them, 6.5, whatever it was against McNeese, and 9 against Creighton were 2 winning wagers. Don't you think Purdue is taking advantage of playing 2 pretty poor teams with High Point and McNeese, and now they're about to play some real competition?
Yes, I do, but you play who you play. They don't choose their schedule. You just play who you play. And McNeese fucking looked real good against Clemson, who
I disagree.
You don't think so?
No, I had him. Yes, I had him first 20, and I watched him a lot. They won that first half 31-13. I thought McNeese was bad.
Okay, that's fair. I won't give you too much pushback on that, but I'm not upset with what Purdue's done, I guess I'm saying.
Okay, so
I like what they have. I like that they have that team minus Zach Edey that made the run last year. I feel like not a lot of people are talking about that because Zach Edey's gone. But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see Purdue knock off higher seeds this tournament at all.
I will say I give Purdue credit for doing exactly what they needed to do in the first half of the McNeese game. When they were playing High Point, they were not hitting their shots. Braden Smith was 6 for 19. I don't know what he ended up doing against McNeese. If anybody wants to tell me, feel free. I'm sure a lot of people were on him to have a bounce back game. But I was following it. I was out working, and I was kind of just following it here and there. And every time I opened my phone, I saw, Purdue makes 3, but it was different names. They were spreading the ball around, doing pretty well. I don't know if Lawyer had showed up at all, but the TKR had a nice game. Horrible matchup for Purdue here. High Point and McNeese can't exploit Purdue inside with their big issue. Houston will eat them alive. I certainly agree. So we're not going to talk about that just yet, but I want takeaways. I want recaps and what we think. So you like Purdue more than me. Fair enough. And that's kind of all I really wanted to know. How do we feel about Arkansas? Arkansas, this was actually one of my most impressive takeaways, I think, from the weekend. Arkansas against St. John's. Obviously, I was a St. John's ticket holder to win it all. I didn't take them in this game, but I did take Arkansas team total under. I couldn't believe at which the pace they were playing. I haven't watched a lot of Arkansas basketball this year. One of their fans confirmed on one of my tweets, this is the fastest he's seen them play all season. Kudos, Calipari. I think he knew you can't get in a half-court set with St. John's. They're going to suffocate you. That's what their defense does. So he pushed the pace. He was playing fast, and he took advantage of St. John's slow start. So I have to say, I was very impressed with Calipari's masterclass. I was impressed with some of the length and some of the inside dudes on Arkansas. Do you respect them, or do you think that was more about St. John's kind of folding?
No, I respect them for sure. I respect that Calipari definitely outcoached Pitino. There's no denying that. And obviously, we all know this tournament's about, if you have the talent, which Arkansas and another team we're going to talk about, Kentucky, both have, it's about getting going at the perfect time. And after watching Arkansas play St. John's and Kentucky play Illinois, I just think both of those teams kind of are cooking at the right time. I just will not be shocked if either of those teams advance again, which obviously sucks for me because Tennessee is basically my last ticket here.
Yeah, my last ticket is Texas Tech. So we're hanging on by a thread. Okay, let's keep moving. Michigan and Texas A&M. I had Michigan in this game. I think there was some late steam on Texas A&M. They went from like 2.5 to 3.5, or 3. It could be wrong. I got the 3 with Michigan, and I got to tell you, this was a battle. My wife and I were kind of following this game, and there was definitely, it's so funny. There are games that I watch when if the team I bet on has a lead, I never feel comfortable. Like Kentucky, for example. Kentucky was up by we were having trouble streaming to Twitter. Oh no. We'll keep you posted. Well, we got to remove Twitter. I just got to
just leave it alone, right?
No, it just disconnected, I think.
It looks like mine's back.
Back?
Oh well. Oh well. Yeah, that's fine.
I think Twitter is down entirely.
Oh God, again, Jesus, they're struggling.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, hold on. Try to load it if you can on your phone.
Okay, sure.
I'm getting an error notification on my
Keep
end. Did
going,
you
though.
get that? Did you know that error? Did you get that error notification
Uh, no, it
on
says my Twitter.
StreamYard?
Yeah, I did get the notification, but it
Oh,
says my.
oh, oh! You're back.
Okay, cool.
All right.
It doesn't show me live though, just so you know.
It doesn't. All right,
No,
I'm gonna
but
try
it's
to.
okay.
I'm gonna try to reconnect.
It'll be
Okay.
all right.
So when a team that you bet on has a lead, you never really feel super comfortable. Like I knew Kentucky was the better team in that game, but Illinois was still making their big man was making shots. And anytime Kentucky would get to an 11-point lead, it was like back down to 6. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. For some reason, even though Michigan was down in this game, like 6 to 8 points, I never felt like Texas A&M was going to run away with it. I felt pretty comfortable. I certainly didn't expect Michigan to win this game by 12 points. I think they went on a 31-12 run to end the game. I don't know if that's more to do about Michigan or Texas A&M folding. So I'd be really curious to hear your thoughts as well as the chats. I am a Michigan guy, unfortunately. Like, it pains me to say that. I don't know that I'm buying into them the rest of the tournament. But I did bet on them in this game. Who do they play in round 1, 2? No.
Oh, Michigan's
Yeah.
UCSD. I'm sorry, I thought you meant Texas
Yeah,
A&M.
UCSD. I didn't get there with them in UCSD. This is my first time betting them. I like Wolf. I like Golden. Their turnovers are still a problem. I'm liking Dusty May. I really like the fact that Michigan showed they are capable of coming out in the second half and putting up 56 points on somebody's head. This team, I think, is pretty dangerous. Am I overreacting?
No, I don't think so. But first I'll talk about Texas A&M because
Okay,
what's that
please do.
saying? What's the saying? You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Yes.
You live by Wade Taylor, you die by Wade Taylor. That's just how
Ugh.
he is. And he goes cold, and it's a fucking wrap, and that's what it was. I know the game didn't play like a game that Michigan won by 12, but honestly, my only good reads in this tournament have been live ones. I saw the beginning of Michigan, Texas A&M, and Texas A&M out to that early lead. I was like, yeah, there's no fucking way. I'm taking Michigan live. And then yesterday, I watched the entire first half of Illinois, Kentucky, and I immediately said, there's no fucking way Illinois is beating this Kentucky team right now. And I know you were nervous because you had Kentucky. I could tell by the way you were texting about the officiating. Illinois never was close in that game. Even when they cut it to 5, I wasn't scared. And even when Michigan was down 6, I was not scared. Texas A&M stinks. Obviously, I knew they were going to beat Yale. I think everybody kind of felt that way. But Texas A&M stinks. And I actually think Michigan is decent, and they have tournament guys, Vlad, Danny Wolf, and they have a tournament coach. Dusty May is very clearly built for this shit. They just ran through the Big Ten and won it. He got FAU to the fucking Final Four, which is absolutely incredible. And now here they are again. He's a tournament coach. And so am I totally comfortable with him in the points against Auburn? Yeah, I
am. I'm not. We'll talk about that later. I'm not, but that's more to do about Auburn than Michigan. I like what you said about Dusty May. He's definitely impressing me, but good point about Wade Taylor, because I went into this game telling myself I'm either, what did we talk about? I was on Mid-Majors Matt Spaces for a brief moment yesterday, and we talked about a few games, and I think, or maybe it was Ramble Stream, and I just said, I don't want to go to war with Wade Taylor. Oh yeah, this was Saturday, so I went on Ramble. And I don't know who said I'm taking Texas A&M because I'm going to war with Wade Taylor. I'm like, I don't think I will ever go to war with Wade Taylor. I'll rather take Danny Wolf. And I'm not even a Donaldson guy, but I like what I'm seeing from Michigan. Steak, I didn't really get my eyes on Drake and Texas Tech, but I love to see Texas Tech bounce back. I'm still in love with this team. Even though they're in the region of doom, I still like having a ticket on them. They win this game. They cover 77-64 after battling with UNC Wilmington. Do you have any thoughts or takeaways on Texas Tech?
Yeah. Yes. I like them. And that's why I am nervous about the Arkansas train keep going forward, because I like Texas Tech a lot. And I kind of think they're being slept on a little bit, which I guess is not shocking. I don't know if they're going to get Chance McMillan back for this game. I heard there was rumors he was coming back. Also, before we move on, I just don't want to forget, Trey Donaldson, the kid from Michigan. Did you know he's from Auburn?
I only know that because I heard it on Pardon My Take this morning.
Yeah, I feel like that makes for a really good storyline. I don't know why, man. There's part of me that thinks Michigan could upset Auburn. I don't know. We're not talking about that yet, but yeah,
Okay.
part of me that believes it. I like Texas Tech a lot, man. I really, really do. I like that team. I think I said it when they beat Houston. Without a couple of their top guys that I like them, this would be a favorite I'd be backing for sure.
Yeah, I like this. Wow, I didn't know that guy had a chance to come back because I saw that he had a freaking cast on his hand. But I love this Toppin guy. He was 11 for 13, didn't even attempt or no threes, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, 12 rebounds. I mean, this is my kind of guy. 1 turnover. Texas Tech only had 3 turnovers the entire game. That is amazing. Michigan does that in 2 minutes. Really like Texas Tech right now, and hopefully they can withstand this freaking Calipari and Arkansas train. I think that's who they have next, right?
Uh-huh.
Yep. All right. Well, let's talk Auburn. So Auburn beats Creighton by 12. They were down early in the game, 37-35. I took Auburn first half against Alabama State. I thought they were going to come out pissed off. They didn't. They were sleepy. Then they win the game comfortably by 20. But same thing happens with Creighton. They come out, they're sleepwalking just like they've been doing the last few games of the season. And I'm like thinking to myself, oh shit. Creighton, I don't know that they're going to win, but Creighton's going to get the cover. And I didn't have a side in this game, but I remember seeing Des Bryant tweet, I think Creighton's going to give them a run for their money. And I'm like, when that shit starts happening, felt like everybody wanted to take Creighton. Nobody wanted to fade or bet on, lay the points with Auburn. Sorry. Second half, they outscore Creighton 47-33. They wake up. Stephen Ashworth, no more. Kalkbrenner, no more. Creighton couldn't do much. 82-70 is the final. I was talking to you about this. You and Greg disagree with me. I think Auburn is exactly where they want to be. Spotlight coming into the tournament is off them all over Florida. Nobody really is thinks of this team as a threat. They're still like, yeah, they're good. But all season for 27 games, it was Duke, Auburn in the field. Duke, Auburn in the field. Nobody really thinks of it like that anymore. It's not. It's like Duke, Florida, and then let me find a sneaky team that might be kind of fun. Like me doing it with Maryland, and Maryland's not going to win shit. But I think Auburn, if I had a free $500 bet right now, free play, I'm putting it on Auburn to win it all. You disagree?
I disagree with your take a little bit. It's not that I think you're wrong about Florida. I think you're fully correct about Florida, but no one ever removed Auburn from that conversation. They added Florida. So now it's like Duke, Auburn, and Florida, but no one said, take Auburn out and put Florida in. I don't think I've heard anyone saying that. I definitely don't think you can say Auburn is slept on whatsoever. I just think they're playing kind of mediocre basketball for a month, and I just want to call it like I fucking see it. I don't think they're winning it all. I'll die on that sword. I do not think this Auburn team is winning it all.
Okay. Auburn to win it all is literally free as air. Agree with Steak. Interesting. Everyone wants to exclude Houston too. Yes, that is very interesting.
It's a really good point. Like, I think that's a way more slept on 1 seed than Auburn.
Well, that's the case coming into the tournament too. I think everybody was kind of sleeping on Houston. I wasn't necessarily sleeping on them. I just have fatigue. I'm like, I bought into Houston. I forget if it was last year or the year before, but I'm like, I'm just over Houston. Every year we do this and we're like, oh, they're scrappy. They're dogs. But I remember being told this is the year they have the offense to do it. They looked really good. We'll talk about them in a second. BYU, Wisconsin. BYU had BYU in this game. Loved what I saw from BYU coming out 47-36 in the first half. Wisconsin started to come back a little bit. I watched the second half of this. They were getting every call. It was very, very frustrating. I was holding on to that BYU ticket for dear life. Tanji at 37. I was a Wisconsin guy. I took them to win the Big 12 tournament, Big 10 tournament. I took them against Montana. I got pretty lucky with that cover. They were 16.5. I think they won by 18 or 19. But as much as I liked things about Wisconsin, there were too many things I didn't like about Wisconsin. Their bigs are soft. Their shooting was too inconsistent. I keep forgetting this guy's name. No, number 25. Not Tanji. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. I'm sure somebody in the chat does.
Yeah,
Love this dude. But at the end of the day, I was like, I think I'm just out on Wisconsin. And BYU, the way they came out, Blackwell, yes, thank you, God. Not Crowell. Crowell is soft as shit. The way they came out against VCU, I was like, I don't think this is a fluke. I like BYU. I'm buying BYU stock. I'm going to buy it into going against Auburn. I'm sorry, against Alabama. We'll talk about this because you already have a take about potentially trendy dog alerts for the Sweet 16, which I agree with you. What are your thoughts on BYU? Are they peaking or have they peaked?
That's a tough question. I don't love this matchup. I'm just picturing a shootout with Alabama not going that well. But I'll say this, man, they're disrespected for sure. I see the chat saying that. You're right. They're constantly slept on. And the one thing I'll say about BYU for like the last month, in huge games, doesn't it surprise you that BYU plays so loose? Like BYU looks like the loosest team in the country when they play. And I'll be honest with you, watching Illinois, it's like the complete opposite. Like, I'm like, God, they have the guys, but they're fucking not loose. They're uptight. And I don't know if that has something to do with the coaching, but I'm impressed with how loose BYU always looks in big moments and big games. But man, I don't love the matchup. And I'll be honest, I like Michigan's chances. This is crazy to say. I like Michigan's chances against Auburn more than I like BYU's chances against Alabama personally. And people are dying to fade Alabama, dude. They can't wait. Like people are lining up at the counter to bet St. Mary's yesterday. Can you imagine what they're going to do with BYU? Like, I'm sorry to all you BYU people. I think it sucks. You're going to be annoyed by how many people jump on the bandwagon for this game.
You're not wrong. I actually really like though that St. Mary's didn't cover because I think it will spook off some of those people that did fade Alabama and say, nah, I'm good. I don't want to necessarily do it again. I heard all freaking week leading up to the tournament how St. Mary's was a nightmare matchup for Alabama. And let me tell you, I watched that game. I was not impressed with Alabama. However, as we talked about, and again, credit to Alan Dims, you can't overreact. It's a small sample size, but that's 2 games in a row now against Robert Morris and against St. Mary's, like 2 teams who are not really juggernauts or legitimate opponents, really. I mean, I know St. Mary's has things to like about them. They had some length. They had pretty good defense. Alabama is a frustrating team at times, and Mark Sears was off. So to still cover against St. Mary's with a bad night from Mark Sears, sure. You can tell me if he's on, they can beat BYU by 14 and cover comfortably. Not going to say you're wrong. Kind of just think I want to keep pushing the button on BYU. But I do totally agree with your point. It's a very good one. All right, Gonzaga, as we've been told in the stream the other day, not Gonzaga. Houston, 81-76. This game was a lot closer than the score made it look a lot closer than it really was. Houston started falling asleep there in the last minute. Gonzaga started to make some shots and come in. Kudos to Gonzaga. They had some dudes. They made me look like an idiot against Georgia, but Georgia was terrible. And some teams just come out like Clemson. Some teams come out like Gonzaga in games. You can't miss. You're 5 for 5 from 3 to start. It's demoralizing. Houston, though, they just look like they were built different. You know, I love saying that about teams. Houston, to me, when I watched that game, Houston looked like they were built different. And it was very impressive how they were slowing down those athletes on Gonzaga who looked like they were total freaks. Battle and Hickman. I still like that Ike guy. On Gonzaga, Houston was like punking them. I love what I saw from Houston. I will not be putting money. I don't know if I'm going to put money on them. I ain't putting money against them. Talk to me about Houston, Gonzaga.
So it wasn't close, but then you also have to mention that Gonzaga did have the ball down 3 with a chance to tie the game. So I think that's interesting. I don't want to hate on Houston because we all just talked and said that they're probably the most slept on. I don't love Houston, man. I got to be honest with you. I've kind of been saying it all since what? I don't know, mid-January, that I'm just not buying Houston. I know that, like I said, Rosa and a couple other ball knowers for sure said that they do have the guys to hit a big shot when it matters. We didn't find out about against Gonzaga, but I would have loved to see Gonzaga hit a 3 to tie that game and then saw what Houston would have done with the last shot, if you get what I'm saying.
I do.
I think I have to see it with Houston. Like, I think I'm going to continue to pay to see it with Houston. Personally, I'm not a big Houston guy.
Okay.
Like,
I'm with you.
If it's Houston, Tennessee, I know I've been a Tennessee guy the whole time. I absolutely believe Tennessee beats Houston in the next round if that's the matchup. I really do.
To enter twitch.tv, the degenerate. Sorry, I'm just letting people know we're going to do a Twitch. We're going to do the hoodie giveaway soon in Twitch and to come in. I don't know if we're good on Twitter yet, but I'll try it in a little bit. Steak, I think I lean towards agreeing with you more so than I disagree with you, but I still think I'm okay not being the guy that fades Houston. All right, Tennessee UCLA. I did not watch this game, but I came really close to taking the Bruins of UCLA. I thought this would be a dog nobody would really be on. When you and I talked about Tennessee, I didn't like your Tennessee take because I'm not a Rick Barnes guy. But as I started paying closer attention to Tennessee, I do like this team. I'm not the biggest Ziegler guy. I'm in love with Chaz Lanier, and they just seem to me to have the right pieces. And UCLA, at the end of the day, what I told myself and why I could not put money on them is they beat the piss out of Utah State. But I watched some of that game. Utah State was miserable, so that's why I'm trying to tell myself, like, when it's a real step up in class, I want to be careful about betting on these certain teams. The one I was wrong about was Arkansas, because I thought going from playing Kansas St. John's was going to be a real slap in the face, and it was not. Any thoughts on Tennessee UCLA? And then we'll go into yesterday's games.
Yeah, I think you got to remember, every time you think the dog playing Tennessee is going to be sharp or contrarian, it's not, because people fucking are all on a board on the fade Rick Barnes and March train, no matter what. No one's saying, oh, he beat UCLA, so in the Sweet 16, I want to back him because I really think Rick Barnes is figuring it out now in March. No one's saying that. And I think Kentucky's going to be a really fucking trendy dog after their performance against Tennessee. I'll be honest with you. And they've already beat them twice this year. And I don't think anyone's backing fucking Rick Barnes in March.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm looking forward to talking about early thoughts on these games, which we'll do here shortly. As we go transition into Sunday, I think it'd be a good time at this moment, as we have 130 people in here on Twitch. And real quick, before we do our first hoodie giveaway, shout out to Quantitative Eating. I had to give him some love on Twitter. No pressure, Quantitative. By the way, now that you got a shout out from me, you're going to likely go 2-8 on your next 10 bets. Just letting you know. I want to
make sure you warned him that.
Your model's been pumping out winners. Great job. People in the Discord are asking for Quantitative Eating to have his own channel. No, we're not going to do that. But Houston offense, a top regression candidate, something to keep in mind. So thank you to Quantitative Eating. Also, hell of a dude, and putting the response out there for appreciating the love and telling people to buy a hoodie and subscribe to the newsletter. Great addition to the degenerate community, and that's what we want around here, are just some rock solid, humble sports bettors. So great job on you. All right, let's do this giveaway real quick. This is the first time I've ever done a Nightbot Twitch giveaway. Okay, so please bear with me. I am going to do a keyword. Okay, keyword. Subscribers, if you are subscribed, you are getting 3 entries. Okay, you get 3 entries. VIP, I don't know what a VIP is. Regular, a viewer. Regular, I'll give you 2. You get 2 entries. Is that fair? I think it's fair. Viewers, you get 1. All right, next key phrase. Let's do hoodie season. All right. Oh, Snow. Hoodie season. That's what you got to type in. All right. I'm going to do this create. Okay. I think I just did it. Hold on. It says there's 64 entries. That can't be right.
No, that's going crazy.
No, I know chat's going crazy, but I still don't know. No, is that right? It's a lot of hoodie seasons.
A lot of hoodie seasons.
A lot of hoodie seasons. All right, so the first time chatter. Look at that. This is what we got to do. We got to do more of these. A lot of hoodie seasons blowing up over here. Okay, we love that. How long do I let this go? How long do I let this go?
Do you have a time? I just saw a random twist his dick in there in middle of the hoodie season.
I've got one. I won't be greedy. Nice job, Bama stud. We love that. Okay, I think I'm going to choose a winner. Says we got 83 entries. 3.
Wait. I say we give it 1 more minute.
A minute?
Or 30 seconds. There's still people typing.
Evil Bay U Cat with a new follow. Yeah, there is. What are you waiting for?
Okay, 10, 9,
8, 7, 6. What, you don't want to count together?
5,
like New Year's?
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Choose a winner. And the winner is, oh my God, it's Snidesy.
No, it's not.
No, it is. It is. I got to do another one. He's already got a hoodie. All right, re-roll winner. Ready? Someone else can take it. Budman.
There we go. W Budman.
Budman, do you already have a hoodie? If you don't have a hoodie, you're getting one. We're doing 2 more giveaways. By the way, you're getting a coupon for 100% off. You are doing the processing. You're not giving me your name and address, and I am not paying $40 for shipping if you live in Wyoming. Sorry.
But Budman, you got to DM me your social.
Okay, Budman, I need you to do me a favor because I don't know what to do from here, but I think you need to whisper to me or something. Does that make sense? Steak, do you know? I don't know. We're not Twitch guys, but we're really trying. How do I get a hold of? I do not. Just a gambling mug and a hat from the DGen shop. Love that. All right, hold on. I'm going to whisper to you and I'm going to say, you have blocked whispers from strangers. Okay. All right. You can't whisper me. Hey, Budman. Okay. I think I just whispered. All right. Good stuff. Well, that was pretty fun. Let's get back to, we'll do another one after we recap Sunday. And we hit over 140 plus, and we had a couple first-time chatters. We love that. Good job, Budman. We'll do another hoodie giveaway. And again, this is if you want to buy a hoodie, you can. Never forget that. Bam, shop.thedegenerateweekly.com. Crew necks, hoodies, beanies, and coffee mugs. All right, let's talk Steak Sunday with your Florida Gators to start. When I saw Dave Portnoy say this was the play of the millennium, you kind of knew the Gators were dead. That's just how things go. Thought it was very interesting. No, everybody faded Auburn, and then Auburn came through. Then you had another big SEC team kind of sitting around the same number, and everybody loves Florida. Nobody really likes UConn, myself included. Biggest takeaway from this game, Dan Hurley coached his ass off. Say what you want about the guy. I thought his style of coaching kept UConn in it and doing exactly what they needed to do. You didn't really get to watch much of Florida. Is that right?
No, I was on a plane, unfortunately, with no Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So I got to be honest. I watched some highlights, but that's actually the only game yesterday I won't have a ton to say about. I obviously feel like at one point it really looked like UConn was going to win, and Walter Clayton went crazy, and then Dan Hurley cried, and that was basically the recap I got.
People are asking, do you have a Gator ticket?
No.
You don't have any Final Fours or Sweet 16s or anything like that?
I have Tennessee Final Four, Tennessee National Championship, and I have a Final Four parlay that's alive.
Got it. So I just want to say about UConn, like they played as well as they possibly could have. I'm really not a Kim or Liam McNeely guy. I know he ended up with 22 points. Not a solo ball guy. Diarra on offense is not good, but they did what they could. That was a sloppy game from Florida. I give Walter Clayton Jr. credit, like they're dogs when they need to be. Dan Hurley is a massive, but you cannot take away what he did yesterday, because that was as well as UConn could have played. Been saying it for years. I didn't really think they got screwed by the refs. I thought other teams got way more screwed from watching the last 4 days. By the way, the officiating the first 2 days were great. The last 2 days have been terrible. We'll talk about that. All right. I told you to lock in Kentucky Final Four 10-1. How are we feeling? Well, feeling good because I had them yesterday, but we got a long way to go before they get to the Final Four. UConn is 14-0 last 14 games in a tournament. Gambler's dream. Yep. All right, well, we'll move on from that one since you didn't watch much. I didn't watch much Duke Baylor. Did you happen to get eyes on Duke Baylor, Steak?
Yeah, Baylor sucks. That's why I bet Mississippi State, was because I just wanted to lean into the fact that Baylor sucks, but I guess I underestimated how bad Mississippi State sucks. Baylor sucks, but Duke is fucking rolling. Duke is just absolutely in their bag. They look hands down to me like the best team in this tournament. I don't care who they played no one. They're just fucking rolling.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just responding back to Budman. Okay. I watched a few minutes when I got home. I was looking at this Edgecombe guy that everybody says is an NBA player, NBA talent. He had some nice plays. I'm not like really in love with him. I'm not a hater. I like him more than I like solo ball. But yeah, that's really my only takeaway from watching that game. Duke is a real problem.
Huge problem.
Huge problem. And I as much as I want to be out on the dorky white dude at Duke, Cooper Flagg is fucking legit. The way he handles the ball, the way he moves. By the way, someone said Walter Clayton Jr. reminds them of Jamal Murray. Kind of a decent comp. Whoever said that. Proctor is prime. When I bet on Duke last year to win it all, it was because of Proctor and McCain. Unfortunately, Filipowski and Jeremy Roach, stinky. Duke is your national champion, probably. Can I make fun of Steak, or do I have to take it easy because of his time off? I don't know. What is he going to make fun of you about?
Nothing's ever stopped you before, Fat Girls.
That's true. They're going to give Caleb love. Hell yeah, they probably will. Betting on Duke this year is an orgasmic experience. Yeah, shout out Snowman. I see he just keeps rolling with Duke first half, and it's feeding. DJ, great call about take the wife out during the Duke game. Thank you. That's just W ball knowledge right there. You got to be smart. And there's got to be a balance. I can think of something. I've bet on Duke 3 times this year, and they didn't cover all 3. That's brutal. Okay. Let's keep moving. Next game here, Kentucky and Illinois. Steak, did you have a Kentucky ticket yesterday?
Yeah, I took them live. One of my good live reads. Halftime, they were like -1.5, and I'm like, bro, there's no fucking way Illinois is winning this game.
I loved what I saw from Kentucky. Let me give you my Kentucky breakdown. Okay, Goots with a sub bang. Hello, Evil Bayou Cat. I don't know if I already shouted you out. Thank you for the new follow. Welcome. Remember, if you're watching on Twitch, hit the follow button. You're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Kentucky has got 3 dudes. Brea was out of his mind. Kobe Brea, I think he had like 20-something points. We know Butler is a dog. And then Ortega. 3 buckets. 3 guys who can just hoop. My one concern about Kentucky, and I have not watched a ton of them, so please, chat, push back on this. Their bigs are big. That's kind of all they are. And that's okay, because from being Orlando Magic fans, I don't want bigs to be Vucevic's. I don't want bigs to be shooting threes and relying on them to score 30 points. But their offense down low is rough. They have no soft touch. So I'm just worried if you get Kentucky in an off night. For example, like Alabama and Mark Sears was off, right? If you get one of these guys, somebody else is going to have to step up. But if they don't, these big dudes on these other teams can shoot threes. They can stretch it a little bit. I don't feel like Kentucky offense can really do that. I'm just wondering how live they really are throughout the tournament. But they bullied Illinois, which is exactly what they should have done, because Illinois, outside of Boswell, who's a fucking dog, Brad Underwood just stinks. I'm not a Brad Underwood guy, but all kudos to Kentucky. I was very impressed with them. Would you agree, Steak?
Yeah, and I think I had texted you earlier, and I said, hey, I'm a little worried about how much pressure is on Pope now with Calipari getting Arkansas to the Sweet 16. I'm like, damn, I'm nervous for this dude, because this is fucking first year at Kentucky. You replace John Calipari, and he gets Arkansas to the Sweet 16, and you don't get there. That's a pretty brutal start to your coaching career as the heir. So I was really, really impressed, because Kentucky played fucking awesome. And I'll be honest, it's not that I don't agree with you about their bigs not being able to shoot, because they can't, but they do their job. And I was impressed by Patrick Carr. I definitely am not a Kentucky bigs hater. I think they all are good at doing their jobs, but no, none of them can take over a game, in my opinion. That's going to be, like you said, Kobe Brea is a guy that, like, he gets going in this tournament like he did yesterday. They're a fucking problem. Kentucky's a fucking problem, in my opinion.
Yep. You know who I actually loved, Sports Clown? Bob Huggins, and I love Jay Wright.
Yeah, you got to pick coaches now that you like.
Okay, I'll give you some as we get into the next round. But just to be clear, I'm slandering guys like Matt Painter and Brad Underwood. I don't think that's like, oh, I just hate everybody. I think that these are acceptable guys. And I'm not really into Iowa State head coach either, but I'll give you some dudes. The Kentucky bigs can really pass, though. That's true. That's true. They can pass, and that is important. Very, very good point. It's nice to have a bunch of 24-year-olds. Yep. Izzo. Yeah, I got to give Izzo credit. Izzo's a pretty damn good coach, too. Chris Beard. Yep. Chris Beard, good coach. Dusty May is climbing up my rankings for sure. Kentucky hooping without their second leading scorer, too. Yep. DJ hates the Big Ten. No, I don't hate the Big Ten. Okay, let's keep moving. Steak, Alabama, St. Mary's. I kind of told you how I felt about Alabama. Very infuriating. I was bitching about them a lot. St. Mary's didn't hit a 3 until like 10 minutes left in the game. I think they only ended with 2. If Alabama's playing a team that doesn't hit threes, I would think they should be up by 20, 25 points, and they weren't. But to St. Mary's credit, they also didn't turn the ball over until there was 13 minutes left in the game. That is incredible. So I guess they deserve some kudos here and there if I'm really trying. What are your thoughts on Alabama? It already sounds like you're going to be probably buying into them in the next round.
Probably, and I want to mention that the takeaway from yesterday isn't what Alabama won big. It's that St. Mary's was really, really bad, exceptionally bad from three. I think they were over until like the last 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And this is not the first time St. Mary's has done this in the tournament. They do this every tournament. There's something going on. Like St. Mary's is the opposite of BYU. They're not loose at all. They were freaking out. And so no one left yesterday and said, wow, Alabama's really good. Everyone said, holy fuck, St. Mary's sucks. And I still think that anyone playing Bama is going to be a trendy dog. And now you throw in the fact that it's a BYU team performing really well. And I do think trendy dog doesn't mean they can't win. Like I said, I've been the fakest sharp guy in this whole tournament. So don't listen to me if you like fucking BYU, but I think they're going to be a very, very trendy dog, if maybe more trendy than St. Mary's, to be honest.
Okay. Well said. Especially if I go to the game, I'm going to have action. I'm just going to respect your position on Bama. I mean, it's not going to be the first time we go against each other, and it won't be the last, but it's going to be really hard for me to change my mind not taking BYU, even though you're absolutely right. I do think we fast forward come Thursday. It's going to be one of those things where fucking betting queens on them, and you look at Action Network and it's probably 17-4 BYU against Bama.
You tailed betting queen yesterday with New Mexico.
I was on Mexico before she tweeted, and
That's not what people are saying. That's not what people are saying.
The people can suck my ass. And I said I was fading Michigan State regardless, round 1 and round 2. And we're going to talk about that game because I got a real bone to pick with that game. Colorado State and Maryland. I tweeted that I felt like I was in a menage a trois because I've fallen in love with Maryland towards the end of the Big Ten tournament when they lost to Michigan. Played them against Grand Canyon for 2 units, first half and full game. I don't have a ticket on Maryland. I don't think they're going to win it all, but I really, really like this team. I like this coach too. I'm into him. Love Jacoby Gillespie. I know he was kind of off yesterday, but he had 4 steals. He had a couple of nice assists. I think he's just a playmaking guard. Love their bigs. Colorado State was awesome. Nikki Clifford was like one of my favorite guys to watch play basketball throughout these last 4 days. And he was 0 for 3 from 3. Like, he wasn't even hitting 3, but the way he gets into the paint, what he can do, he's just an all-around player, in my opinion. I was in love with Nikki Clifford. Shout out to the random TikTok guy. Any takeaways and thoughts? You know, I hate to say it, like, I'm happy Maryland won because of my parlay, but man, Colorado State being that dog to keep advancing would be really cool.
Colorado State did literally everything they needed to do to win that game yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep. Including have a guy come up clutch and hit a 3 when they were down 2, just clean motherfucking nothing but net 3. And then, you know, Maryland had their game winner. I'm not going to hate on it because it's the only buzzer beater we had. That guy took 5 steps. He did. And he's fucking huge. So those are giant steps, but it's fine. We're going to let it be. I don't think Maryland has the depth to beat Florida. But Crab 5, coolest nickname ever. Coolest nickname to come out of this tournament for sure. Crab 5 is a fucking amazing fucking nickname.
Yeah. Clifford stat line, by the way. I mean, this is awesome. 21 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal. The guy literally does everything. And one thing I really liked about this game is I thought for the most part, the officials were letting them play. Somebody commented and they were like, oh, the refs clearly have Colorado State, or they clearly have Maryland or something like that. I was like, really? I'm not seeing it any like really favoritism. And then I went and looked, and you had Colorado State shoot 10 free throws, Maryland shoot 12. For a 40-minute game, teams combining to shoot 22 free throws. That is beautiful. Okay. And that's exactly the segue I want to have as we go into the Michigan State game, because holy shit. How many free throws do you think Michigan State shot last night, Steak?
A lot, I'll guess, but can I address one thing?
Yes.
I agree, Sports Clown. You cannot call the travel there. I'm not upset the travel didn't get called whatsoever. I promise. It just was a travel, and I just wanted to put it out as we discussed the game. Colorado State did everything to win that game. They didn't win. You can't call that travel there. I'm totally fine with it, but he traveled.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm glad it wasn't called, obviously, but even like bias aside, it would have been really unfortunate if that play got called off from traveling. But I do think he took 3 steps. People are saying it wasn't a travel. Okay. I did disagree with that logic. All right, that's fine. You guys,
I think you're insane if you think that wasn't a travel. I really do.
if you slow that down.
Oh, we got to watch that, bro. Somebody saying two steps.
Yeah, but dude, this is why I won't die on the hill, Steak. Basketball is weird. You can gather.
2 steps is crazy. I might need to see that again. 2 steps is crazy. I thought that motherfucker took 4.
I think you're insane if you think it's a travel. I mean, this is the beauty of life. And
we
the
got
beauty
an old
of
insane off, Josh Mitty.
We're gonna just have to agree to disagree. If you're telling me that that's what you can do in basketball now, you can gather and then take 2 steps. I'm not going to argue.
I want to watch again. I'm going to watch again, and you can get my live reaction. I'll admit if I'm wrong. I have no problem doing that.
No, dude. Look, this guy, 3 steps easy. It was a travel. Then you get gather in 2 steps. It's okay to disagree on this. It's not a travel in the NBA. It's supposed to be called a travel in the pros. It's a traveling college game 100%. Yeah.
I typed in Maryland into Twitter and it says Maryland travels, Maryland traveling.
LeBron has changed the game. We all know that. Actually, you know what? This would be a fun poll.
Yes.
I'm gonna
do the poll.
Did Queen travel? Yes. No.
Oh, it says also never saying gather. Apparently that's not allowed. Yeah, but Josh Mitty, if it's a rule, then it's a rule. So what I said was still correct. He traveled. You guys are saying gather. This motherfucker traveled. You guys are crazy. You guys are fucking crazy if you saw 2 steps. You're high.
There was 3 steps. Like that's
correct. Clear as day.
But dude, that's just, oh my God. It's 19-9. Yes, that he traveled. I love Queen and I love Maryland. And I'm here. I had Maryland to win a $500 parlay.
I called a buzzer beater and had Maryland live. I wanted that to happen. It was
yeah, we're 2 guys who wanted Maryland to win that game, and we're telling you it was a travel. 24-11. Okay, that answers that. Thank you. Definitely traveled. Yeah, he took 2 steps. YouTube chat is all over the travel. What?
No, he took 2 steps and another 3 is literally more accurate than he took 2 steps. Anyone who thinks he took 2 steps, go to the eye doctor right now.
Oh, it's funny you say that. I got to go to the eye doctor. Have been. Oh yeah, real quick. I missed the part about Clifford. People kept saying he should have been ejected. Did he do something? Did I totally miss that? Clifford for Colorado State. Did he elbow a player?
I think that's what Snacks was saying in the beginning of this, is that they were murdering our guys. I'm not saying anything about any of that. I want to be clear. I was just talking about the travel. That's specifically it.
No. I know you were. I was just
elbow.
Got it. I totally missed that. Get ready to learn crab, you fucking losers.
No, we fucking bet Maryland, P. Newman.
No. I think he's talking to the chat. He's talking to the chat. I think he's talking to the chat. He elbowed the player. Yes. Okay. Oh, you know what? I skipped the Iowa State game. We'll go back to that one. So I just want to repeat that. 22 combined free throws between Colorado State and Michigan State. Colorado State and Maryland. Michigan State yesterday shot 28 free throws. Steak, listen, I'm going to be real with you, okay? I think we can always pride ourselves on being able to call it like it is. We just told you we had Maryland and we said it was a travel. I had New Mexico yesterday. They were not the right side. They did not deserve to win that game. And frankly, I know they missed the cover by half a point. I don't even know that they really deserved to even come that close. With all that said, the officiating was an absolute joke. It felt like before that game, the AD of Michigan State, or Tom Izzo, was like, hey, fellas, I'll set you up real nice if you give us some calls. I felt like every single official was in the pocket of Michigan State. And again, I'm not trying to make excuses or anything, but they were calling everything on New Mexico, and they were calling it early. 5 minutes into the game, I think New Mexico had 5 fouls. Same thing in the second half. 7 fouls with like 11, 12 minutes left. Michigan State played in the bonus for half the game. Absolutely pathetic. And I've told you I'm not into Michigan State. I respect Izzo. I respect the dog that they have. But I'm sorry. When I watch this team, I am just still not impressed. And I mean, this guy, God, what is his name? Akins. He's their guy. 7 for 11 for 16 points. He was their top scorer last night. Not into him. It seems like a team that is just, and they have such a good record. They've been playing well all season. I don't know what it is, Steak, but I think they're about to get clapped in the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight if they make it. So I'm still going to fade Michigan State. With all that said, New Mexico was not very good. They can't score. It was a bad game for Donovan Dent. I think he had like 4 or 5 turnovers. What was your takeaway?
That New Michigan State is ugly. They do play ugly. And so maybe I think that's what's convincing you that they're not good. I'm not convinced that they're not good. I don't think they're amazing. I don't think they're top tier. I would be surprised to see them knock off one of the 1 seeds, but I won't be surprised to see them keep winning games against lower seeds. As a matter of fact, that's kind of what I see happening. Like, who does Michigan State play next round?
I'm drawing a somebody just told us. Crazo 27. Thank you. It's not a good matchup, I think, for Ole Miss. But if they can get away from Iowa State, who I'm not impressed with, we'll talk about them in a second. Somebody in Cam and TikTok says Michigan State depth is insane. They don't need a superstar, and they have constantly been getting to the free throw line all year. Okay, so listen, fair enough. If I'm going to accept it, it's kind of like the Guardians in baseball. Like not like this past year, but recently. They just do like fluke shit, bloop singles, and they bloop single you to death. Disciplined, good base running, solid pitching. Maybe that's just how Michigan State is this year. Like they don't have that stud, and I'm okay with that, but they just don't really impress me all that much. If that's their style of play, they did it perfection. However, I just think that when it's so obvious that a team like New Mexico is not on the same level as Michigan State, they don't need that much help from the refs. 28 free throws was insane. At least, and you're right, whoever said that, St. John's in Arkansas was officiated the same way. This is going to be a battle. It's going to be scrappy. It's going to be defensive. Let them play. I'm sorry, but when a defender has his hands in the air and the ball handler jumps into him, if the hands are in the air, stop calling the fouls. Stop calling those. Let those play with these types
or call them both ways. That's really all I asked for. But
sure,
I'll say this about Michigan State. Kev just mentioned, obviously, if they both win, it's Auburn, Michigan State. If I get a chance, let's say Michigan State goes up 8-2 early in that game or whatever, and I get a chance to get Auburn at anywhere near even on the money line, I'm unloading. I am unloading. I will be absolutely shocked. I will pay every dollar I have to see that Michigan State is capable of beating Auburn, because I absolutely don't fucking think they are at all.
No. Iowa State, Ole Miss. Got there with Ole Miss on the spread. Iowa State, my two flukes, or not flukes, frauds in this tournament for top teams were Michigan State and Iowa State. I'm ready to admit I'm wrong about Michigan State. You hear that? I'm ready to admit I'm wrong about Michigan State. Iowa State, this team has done nothing for me. They want you to believe, they want you to buy in every single year. So sick of this team. And I kept hearing people saying like, oh, Iowa State coming in 20-1, 22-1, whatever. I always thought to myself, they're that number for a reason. If they were like a real legitimate threat to win it all, I feel like an Iowa State team was a brand that people respect would be more like 14 or 15-1. The odds makers were right. They were giving you that 20, 25, whatever the hell it was, because this team didn't stand a chance. Now, kudos to Ole Miss. I'm not trying to take anything away from Ole Miss. They come out and they punch you in the mouth. They did it to UNC. They put up 40 against Iowa State, and they didn't let off. 51 in the second half. I love this Ole Miss team. Takeaways on this, and then we'll talk Sweet 16. Oh, no, we got Oregon, Arizona. Sorry.
I'm not prepared to call Iowa State frauds, but they played their worst game at the worst time, and Ole Miss played one of their best games, and yeah, that's just kind of how it went. I definitely wasn't prepared to call them frauds. I know they were without one of their best players, and I don't know. Our resident Iowa State fan, Zach, I don't know if he's here, but that's basically what he tweeted. He was like, "Hey, this is Iowa State's worst game of the year at the worst time, and Ole Miss is probably playing one of their top 3 games of the year, and they beat their fucking ass." But man, I wasn't prepared to call them fraudulent.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Arizona, Oregon. I fell asleep for this game. I had Arizona -3.5. They win by 4. Had them make the Sweet 16, the parlay. It was sweaty. Oregon comes out to a 17-4 start, and I'm like, oh, shit. Here we go again. But Arizona, before I went to bed, they clawed back and it was like 26-20. And when I woke up this morning, I actually watched the highlights, about a 12-minute highlight video, saw them because I want to make sure I have the right read on this Arizona team, especially if I'm going to go play or watch them play against Duke. Caleb Love had a monster game. They get like 30 or something. This other guy, Jaden, is it Jaden Daniels? Is that what it is? Or am I mixing that up with somebody? Maybe the chat can let me know. He's a dog. I like their big guy, Awaka. He's a dog. Like what I'm seeing from Arizona, a lot better than what I saw in the regular season when they played at Kansas. What are you laughing about, by the way?
Nothing.
You're definitely smirking about something.
Nothing. I'm excited to talk about Caleb Love.
Well, this team, I don't know why I'm clapping at you like I'm like ready to tell you you need to do something, because I'm not, but this is why I can't fade Arizona and why instead I would bet on Arizona. This is like the 4th or 5th game in a row. They are shooting near or at or above 50%, 45% from 2, 30 of 66, 10 for 20 from 3, 50% from 3. This is incredible. This team is shooting so well right now. I can't put money against that. If you got Oregon at 5.5, you got the cover. Good for you. Duke is going to belt to ass. I don't. We'll talk about that in a second. Steak, Arizona, Oregon thoughts, and then we'll get into the Sweet 16.
This Arizona team's good. And I don't think that they've gotten a lot of respect really all year. I think they've been pretty decent all year, and I like them. I just hate them here. And there's a main reason why. Caleb Love is like an emotional ass dude. And playing Oregon, 10:15 p.m., not that many eyes on him, not that much pressure, I'm going to be honest. There's not that much pressure on Arizona in general in this tournament because I really don't think a lot of people believe they can do anything. However, Caleb Love against Duke, bro, he's going to try to prove something, and I don't think it's going to go well. I think he's going to be fucking cranking up 30-footers. I think he's going to have some bad misses. I think he's going to go 30% from the field, and I think Caleb Love might shoot Arizona out of that game pretty early, personally. And like I said before, I refuse to believe that there's anything fluky about the way Duke's playing. I think they're playing fucking perfect basketball at the perfect time. And I kind of think Duke belt the ass, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he did put this pretty well. They are keeping Caleb Love kind of grounded. I think the game or two before that, he only had like 9 shot attempts, which is perfect. Quantitative, hottest guy in the Discord right now, Arizona, or in the DGen community, as well as Aloha Bet. Shout out Arizona offense, another top progression candidate. Yep. Duke is ready for a flop. Oh, man, I just don't know. Yeah, keep pressing the buttons, though, man. That's something I'm definitely going to lean into a lot more after college basketball, once we start focusing on baseball, getting to hockey again, things that are coming through, just put your head down. Like Franz Wagner points for Steak earlier in the year. RIP to the Magic, though. TikTok Live is buzzing still. Thank you, everybody in TikTok, for hanging out. I just had to move something here. Come on over to Twitch and YouTube. Link is in the profile. Make sure you're following the page as well. All right, guys. That was the recap of the round of 32. Steak, it's time to give our early thoughts on Sweet 16 matchups. I'm very excited to do this because I think you and I are going to be clashing on some of these. So I'm going to take a piss. I'm going to refill my water. I do want to see Duke's youth where some of these teams have veteran presence down the stretch. Yeah, good point. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Okay. And we will be right back. I'm going to put this graphic up that I made earlier today. Yep. I bet you love that. All right. Sweet 16 chat. Here's the Duck Talk. All right. Hold on, let me get this damn thing off. Okay. And I think before we get into it, I think it's probably a good time to do giveaway number 2.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Sounds great.
What is the what's the word we should do, Steak?
Snowman.
Snowman. All right. Subscribers, you get 3 entries. Regulars, 2 entries. Viewers, you get 1 entry. Next. Okay. Hold on. Don't enter it yet. Don't enter it yet. Don't enter it yet. Ready? Go. All right. Go, 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 go. Snowman, snowman, snowman. By the way, if you're in TikTok, we're doing a giveaway on Twitch here for a chance to win you get 100% off coupon. You're gonna get it because you're paying for shipping. All right, I'm not paying for shipping. If you live in Wyoming, $40. That's not a way to make money.
I saw another grab his dick and twist it.
What does that mean?
Oh fuck! It's from a movie, dude.
Is it?
It's from a movie. Yes, 100%. I want to say a Will Ferrell movie.
All right. Well, we're on TikTok, so maybe just stop repeating it. Because like if you
can't say dick on TikTok.
Go.
Oh wait, what about Dick Cheney?
No. Yeah, but you can't like say twist it because that's what I got banned for was like sexual acts or something. Yeah. No, I think you can say Dick Cheney. Hype Train, Talon and Tailing Dawes with sub bangs. Okay, it's a UFC thing. Gotcha. All right. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Choosing a winner now. And Crutch. Look at all the regulars getting love here. Crutch, do you have a hoodie already? If you do, we will pass it on. If not, you are the winner. He says bang. Crutch.
Dude, how funny is this comment?
It's really chilling.
All the 1 seeds, dude. All the 1 seeds are getting hoodies.
So true. All right, Crutch, hit me up on DM me on Twitter, please. I'll give you the 100% coupon whenever I get it generated. Okay, that was fun. We'll do one more. We got 3 hoodies to give away. All right. Twitch is thick right now too. You guys are awesome. 134 in Twitch. We got over 50 plus watching in YouTube. Good morning. Mondays are always busy. People like to recap. Okay. Well, now we're going to talk games. All right. I'm going to pull up. I got covers on right now. I'm going to pull up Wager Talk and just see if there's any movement. That's what I like to use for the lines. Whatever you guys want to use, do your own thing, be your own person. Let me go here. Basketball, college basketball. Okay. Somebody asked, are we just doing Sweet 16 or are we going to talk ball today? Steak, I think you want to talk a little bit of ball today. So we'll do that towards the end, maybe. Yeah, sure. A little bit. I know.
Yeah, it's tough to cap those 3 games. I'm going to probably bet on them because, I'm back home and I got the itch, but it's going to be tough to cap those. Love to hear what people have to say.
Okay. All right. First game, ladies and gentlemen, we do have share screen. Okay. We got BYU and Alabama, total 175. Looks like, according to Wager Talk here, if you guys can see it, Alabama opens 3.5 up to 4.5, total 171, bet up to 175. Wowzers. BYU has been excellent starting this tournament. 80 against VCU, 91 against Wisconsin. And it's really nothing new. Outside of that game against Houston, they have been rolling 91, 96, 91, 77, 88, 85, 96. I think that this Alabama team is vulnerable. I think they can go down. I like BYU on the spread. I like them on the money line. But as we alluded to, Steak has his concerns. Steak thinks that BYU is going to be a trendy dog. At this moment, Steak, are you just staying off BYU or are you betting on Alabama?
Maybe, but first I want to address this because it's funny. One, me and DJen would have probably completely different seatings on this chat. For example, like Alan Dims gets a very high seating for me. DJen would probably have Alan Dims in the NIT, and then Fat Girls, he's in the NIT for me. He's not getting into my fucking tournament, and that's all I have to say.
I think I would put out, just because Alan Dims is mean to me doesn't mean I wouldn't put him as a high seed. I think Alan Dims is a ball knower, and he's rude, but that's okay. He's that's all right. You need to keep those people in your life to stay grounded. You know what I mean? I would put Alan as like a 6 seed.
6 seed.
Is BYU a 6 seed?
Yeah, Alan Dims is BYU.
Yeah, he's a 6 seed that I think is live in the Sweet 16. Yeah. That would be fun. We should do a bracket of the degenerate followers.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as no one promises can't get your feelings hurt.
Oh, well, that would probably, I don't know about our following.
Yeah.
That would probably happen on social media, though. You never know. Should make a seed command too. Yep. If I get a lower seed than 3, I riot.
You wouldn't. Yeah, you're up there.
You're Florida Gulf Coast. Yeah, that's funny. That would take days. Yep. Owner's Box called me a shit gambler. I'll be fine. Where would I put DGen in my March Madness bracket? Take a guess.
It's tough.
He would put me in an 8-9.
I think so too. Yeah, I think he'd make you Georgia.
Discord seedings. I'm very sensitive. I'm a 16 seed and may make the Elite 8. Yep. Primer solid too. Oh my God. Primer would be out fucking first round.
No, Primer's Kansas. That's wrong. We should say what school they are.
Primer, Georgia. Get the fuck out of here, Alan. Wait. Why wouldn't Primer be Oklahoma?
Yeah, it's a good point, but I think he's Kansas. This year's Kansas.
So like has potential.
You love to say you're the only one who thought Kansas had potential.
Bullshit. Kansas was a preseason number 1. They had potential.
And then they showed you all year they were awful.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's keep moving. You're absolutely right. Are you betting on Alabama? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna go against each other here.
You're gonna hate this, Snowman. You're gonna hate this, but in my opinion, you're Michigan State. I say Snowman's Michigan State.
I don't think he's Michigan State because he's not. His skill set and his talent is very. It's like at the forefront. You need to watch a full game of Michigan State after they're done shooting 28 free throws and win in a scrappy fashion to appreciate them. I can listen to Snowman talk for 5 minutes and be like, this guy will beat anybody I know in Jeopardy. I would say Snowman might be
not UNC. I don't like that one.
No, I was thinking Ole Miss, but not really.
I'm gonna mid-major for me, unfortunately. Not unfortunately. Mid-major is Gonzaga.
Who's a Lipscomb? We probably shouldn't say. I know that is going to be offensive. Prime
in the Cornfields, Tennessee. That's very big compliment coming from me because I happen to win it all.
That's a good one.
Damn,
they made it to Cal Berkeley. What's BK?
St. John's.
Did you see that idiot do the ice in the water video today? He did it like in a plate, and he couldn't even put his face in it. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen, but it was funny.
I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, someone asked me to make a morning routine video. Honestly, I don't know if I can because so many people have done it right now. I was thinking about doing ice in a bowl with water, and then instead of putting my face, putting like a 6-pack of beer in it, and then taking a video of like when I wipe my ass and pulling out Prepper H&H wipes. I thought that would be kind of funny, but not like the ass wiping part, just like, when you're on a toilet.
Sleepy TMT, watching.
Yeah, but that's not a morning. That's not a morning routine. It's not a morning routine. So DGen is Akron for LeBron. He's not even an Akron fan. Would you guys stop? All right, we're getting sidetracked. We're getting sidetracked. What?
I'm trying to think of who you would be.
I would be Texas
Brian.
Tech.
Texas Tech. You fucking wish you do your fucking Texas Tech.
We're not talking about actual basketball skills. Okay, if we're talking basketball skills, I am Lipscomb. DGen is Robert Morris. That's not a terrible one. DGen is Texas A&M, can't shoot. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, people on TikTok are like, what the hell are these guys talking about?
Yeah.
DGen is Zona. No, I don't think I'm Zona. Zona, you have to be a little bit more flashy and finesse, I think. Okay, Maryland and the Gators. I want to know, after the Gators scare, does this mean nobody wants to lay points with the Gators, or do you think Maryland could shock the world? I'm nervous because I like Maryland, and I want
this is very funny. I got to give credit where credit's due. Sports Clown, very good one. Fuck you, but yeah, good one. I don't think Maryland. I'm gonna use my basketball brain. I do not think Maryland has the depth to beat Florida, and I don't think Florida will have back-to-back scares. I'm not saying I think Florida wins the national championship, but I do. I kind of think they win and cover against Maryland.
Okay, I have a basketball brain take for you.
Okay.
UConn is not a good team.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Maryland is a good team.
I agree with that as well.
Maryland also had a scare and fought off and beat one of maybe the toughest high seeds in the tournament. Do you think they feel like they're playing with house money and they don't fear the Gators? I would almost, here's what I'm getting at, Steak. If Maryland beat the piss out of Grand Canyon and then smacked Colorado State, I would almost think they're coming in kind of feeling themselves a little bit, and they're getting a lot of praise. And then you got the Gators, even though they're 6.5-point favorites, but it's like, ooh, they had their scare, and now Maryland's big dogs right now. But because Maryland just scraped by, I feel like they're playing like, like a cat's got like 8 lives, or is it 7 lives? How many lives does a cat have? 9 lives?
9
lives. I kind of feel like Maryland might play a lot more loose than they could have, given the circumstances. Does that make sense at all, or no?
Yeah, no, it makes sense, kind of, but no, it's not like they're a Cinderella.
Yeah, give me the
They're
Gators
top
minus
15
10.
team in the country. As of right now, I like the Gators.
But look at this. It's the Gators. Gators already had their letdown. I think the Gators run the little crabs out of the gym. Give me the Gators minus 10. Yep. Maryland back-to-back.
Very sharp chat.
Goes. Gators have the depth and the talent. Yeah, no, they are. They are. I'm just looking at the somebody named Kentucky Blue, and TikTok said, why not Kentucky to win it all? That's the primer of Kentucky. Every smooth-brained frat boy is going to see Florida being vulnerable and Maryland hit the shot of the tournament and press Maryland button for the vibes. I don't know that I'm into it. You know what I like in this game, Steak?
I don't fully disagree with that statement.
I like scoring. I like the over 155. I think you had that defensive scratching and clawing from UConn. I can't believe that game went over. Maryland also only had 30 points in the first half. They woke up towards the end. I think it's going to be a fast-paced game. I think there's going to be some flow to it, and I think there's going to be some points.
Fast pace sounds fucking brutal for Maryland to me.
Yeah, that's a good point. This game has like both teams being in the 80s, I think. Isn't traveling. Will Angel Reese be in attendance cheer on her brother? Maybe. Could probably bet that on Bet Online. All right, Steak. Duke -9 against Arizona. Hopefully be in attendance for this game in Newark. If I can make it, it's going to be a late night game. Definitely leaving early to beat traffic. 9:39 p.m. Oh, God. 9.5 down to 9. Could Arizona be the Sweet 16's UConn and make it nasty? Eileen, yes. Total is 152 up to 153.5.
I think I already gave my take a little bit. I think it solely depends on Caleb Love, and I'm leaning towards Caleb Love having a very bad game. But if he has a good or even decent game, I think they could cover this number. I do think Arizona's good, but I'm gonna call a stinker from Caleb Love.
Okay. Duke -9 early lean POD Thursday. Well, quantitative. Listen, as hot as you are, I did also give you a shout out, and now you're gonna start regressing. So that means Arizona will have to be my POD. I'm going head to head with quantitative because that's just how the world works. Caleb Love 2 for 5, 15 incoming. Yep. Arizona due for their letdown game. A lot of teams do for their letdowns, huh? Think it could benefit Arizona that they played them earlier this season. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, could you not say the same thing about Duke?
I would certainly say the same thing about Duke. Yeah. Not to shit on that take at all, Brainerd, but I would just look at it both ways. That's not how that works. Caleb Love rarely has back-to-back good games. You guys are onto something. Under?
Man, this is interesting. Held him to 55. What's the over-under in this game?
153, but it has to be 153. That's not high. Don't even say it's high.
No, I didn't say it was high. I didn't say it was high. I don't like the under, though.
No. FA Mikey 22. I'm behind the stream, but thoughts on Ole Miss. They are due for crazy regression shooting the 3. They shoot 30% from 3 as a team. The 2 games they're shooting 48. We are going to talk about them very shortly as we kind of lean into the Sweet 16 here. Okay, so Steak, real quick. Thank you for watching the stream on YouTube. We appreciate that. Wherever you're watching the stream, make sure to like the stream, the video, and follow and subscribe as well. As of right now, Steak, you lean Florida, you lean Bama. Where's your head at with Duke?
Lean Duke, and I know that's liking all the favorites, which is strange, but I do like those 3 favorites.
Yeah, you're going 1 and 2. All right,
1.
Texas Tech -5.5. I bet you're going to say Arkansas is the dog you like in this matchup. Total 147.5. I like Texas Tech. You like Texas Tech. No harm in that. 147 is the total. Kind of sitting around that 147 number. I think Arkansas just had their big emotional game, and I think we just talked about letdowns a couple times for these first few matchups. Texas Tech had their wake up in that kind of sluggish game against UNC Wilmington. Took care of Drake. I think Texas Tech rolls here. Give me Texas Tech by 13, 14 points. I like Texas Tech on the spread. What say you?
I like Texas Tech. Damn, I didn't realize I like so many favorites. Yeah, I don't like
all 4 favorites.
I think they have potential to be the trendiest dog. I think people are fully bought in now, for sure.
Interesting.
I got them going to the Final Four.
Here's the one thing, too, when everybody was just talking about Maryland, saying like, oh, they just hit a buzzer beater and Florida just had a scare. You have to zoom out. Everybody loves Florida to win it all.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks Florida's winning this game. No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm going through trendy dogs. I actually think BYU might be trendier. I would say BYU, then I would say Arkansas. Slight edge, which I hope, obviously I'm wrong because I'm going to probably bet BYU. As of right now, I don't like how many dogs I like. I like BYU, Maryland, Arizona, and Texas Tech. That's I might just play the under in Duke. I'm not sure yet. I can already see it. Trent Megamax Nuke is cranking hog. Oh, you're so right. Yep. Thoughts on replacement for Sean Miller at Xavier? Hey, my name is Cooper. I don't really have any thoughts on that. Do we even know who's replacing Sean Miller?
I think he's saying thoughts on who should replace him.
Oh, who should? I don't know. Do you have anybody?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's get into the next wave of games. Friday, March 28th, 7:09 p.m. I love Ole Miss, dude. We just talked about regression. I'm anti-Michigan State. I think I'm just going to keep fading this team, and I think I'm going to end up in piss. Michigan State might actually get to the Final Four. Maybe they'll even get all the way to the championship. Total in this game is 144. Is Ole Miss due for regression? Yeah, maybe. A lot of teams could be due for regression. But you know what? What the hell is Michigan State due for? What do they do for? A game to maybe not shoot 28 free throws? I don't know, man. I think Ole Miss, the way they play and they punch teams in the mouth, they've done it in back-to-back games. I think they do it again. And Michigan State just clawed back from getting punched in the mouth by New Mexico State. Ole Miss can score. Ole Miss can score. So it's a whether of, can Ole Miss play their style, or is Michigan State going to make it ugly? I don't know. Iowa State tries to make it ugly. They got a pretty good defense. I like Ole Miss here. It's probably my favorite bet of the weekend right now. What do you think?
I have a pretty firm projection. I think Ole Miss covers and doesn't win. I think it's close all game, and I think it comes down to the last shot. And in that situation, I'm going to take Izzo and Michigan State. But I think it's really, really close. Can't stop thinking about what Jackie Boy said, which has been brought up like 10 times. I don't buy like those type of storylines and narratives that often, but God, Elite Eight, Michigan State would be absolutely fucking crazy with Tom Izzo and Michigan State and Michigan and their new big coach. Like, I just think that would be absolutely crazy. I understand I'm asking for a lot for Michigan to win, but that will be stuck in my head. I think Michigan State wins this game. I think it's going to be a lot closer than some people might think, but I do think Michigan State wins. I would take Ole Miss in the points.
Beard Izzo rematch from when Beard was at Texas Tech. Oh, no kidding. Ole Miss has won this year mostly due to coaching advantages. Don't think they have that here. And after all that shit happened on senior night. What happened on senior night?
And after all that shit happened on senior night. Michigan State. I'm not sure. Or is he talking about was Michigan State game?
Yeah.
That was
and they scrapped at center court.
Yeah.
Is Purdue good enough to beat Houston? We'll get there. Kentucky Blue in TikTok. All right.
I just want to say, how do they line it up to where Michigan State is someone's senior night? How does that work?
You mean in the regular season?
Yeah, I just feel like you wouldn't think that. You wouldn't think that Michigan State would be either team's senior night. Now I remember though, but feels weird.
You're saying it should be like an inferior opponent, and
Definitely.
like Michigan is on par with Michigan State, and that's weird.
Well, they're also it's the biggest rivalry in college sports, maybe.
Michigan State.
Is it not?
No, Michigan Ohio State.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
It's but to be fair, I am an idiot. I don't mean that. I immediately take it back. But it's probably top 5, right?
in basketball.
No, just sports. Like, what are the top? Okay, Ohio.
Michigan State top. No,
Okay, hold on.
no.
Let's just go through it. Let's go through it
Bad
before you
take.
say no.
Okay.
Ohio State, Michigan, Auburn, Alabama. Is that going on there?
Yes.
Okay. What else? UNC Duke, I'll give you, even though it's only basketball. I'm still going to give you it.
I would say like Penn State, Michigan,
Texas, Oklahoma. Nah,
Texas,
fuck
Oklahoma. Fuck what?
Penn State, Michigan is not a bigger rivalry.
Michigan.
Penn State and Michigan have no basketball rivalry. That's just proof that it's just a football rivalry. Michigan and Michigan State, they have a huge rivalry in both sports.
Well, they're like this. It's the same. It's in-state schools, so it's like Florida State, Miami, Florida.
Florida State is falling off majorly.
Yeah.
I think Michigan and Michigan State is the 5th biggest rivalry in college sports.
In basketball?
In college sports.
Oh, God. Michigan State. Okay. Yeah, but talk about falling off. Michigan State football is falling off.
For sure, but it's still fucking a huge game.
Huge?
Yeah.
Agreed. All right. USC, UCLA.
Yankees, Red Sox is a very good college sports rivalry, Harrison.
Yeah, I'm with Greg. You think anybody is going out of their way, getting fired up, waking up on a college football Saturday saying, "Oh my God, it's a top 5 rivalry today. Michigan State are playing each other."
In college sports?
I think only people in Michigan give a shit.
Okay. Still have yet for anyone in the chat to name one that I can.
This is better.
Nah.
Army Navy.
Shut
Army
up.
Navy. Notre Dame USC.
Fuck that. Notre Dame USC don't play basketball. You guys are naming football rivalries. LSU Bama is a pretty fucking good one, even though it's not a basketball rivalry really at all, but that's a good one. I'll give you that. LSU Bama is a very good one.
Okay. All right. Let's keep moving. Tennessee and Kentucky. Tennessee is a 4.5-point favorite. Steak, you are a Tennessee investor. It's your last ticket. Are you going to hedge? You're not a hedge guy. I don't even know why I asked.
I'm not a hedge guy. I like how well Kentucky played. I think people are going to be dying to take them again. I just said it. I'm scared, but I like the position Tennessee's in because they beat them twice. Kentucky beat them twice, and Tennessee has a lot to fucking prove. And I like Tennessee. I ain't gonna lie to you.
So Tennessee opened 5.5 down to 4.5. Totals 146. I don't know why I thought that total seemed a little bit high to me. Kentucky was definitely, I think, one of the most impressive performances that I saw from the weekend. I thought they were excellent against Illinois, really from start to finish. Brea was balling, as I said. Ortega, I like their bigs for being big, but not offensively. So this is really like, what kind of matchup is this from someone who really knows ball? Obviously, they played each other in the regular season. Kentucky won both times, dude.
Yep. Yeah.
Kentucky won both times, 75-64 at home, and then at Tennessee, 78-73. The first matchup went over. The second one stayed under. But nevertheless, every time these teams have met this season, the total has been 146. Nothing weird there. Kentucky is playing with some swagger and some confidence. I didn't watch Tennessee. I watched them against Wofford. They couldn't really put Wofford away, but I didn't really watch them against UCLA. But they handled business, and I give them credit for doing so. I would probably be that sucker that takes the points with Kentucky here. And I think if they cover the game, I you know what? I'll actually say this. If you are betting Kentucky, you're taking Kentucky on the money line.
Probably.
They either win this game for the third time and beat Tennessee, or Tennessee is winning this game by 10. That's what's going to happen.
I would agree with that statement.
Now, if Tennessee is going to win and going to put this game away, they got to have a big game from Ziegler. Have to. Chaz Lanier is going to do what he does. He's going to score 18, 19, 20 points. He's a dog. He can shoot. Ziegler, if Ziegler is off, Kentucky's going to win this game by 7. Ziegler or Gainey.
Mm-hmm. I just think Ziegler needs to do his job. Not turn the ball over, facilitate, make his free throws. And I think Tennessee will be fine. It's not going to be pretty. It never fucking is. That's why people don't like Tennessee, because it's not pretty, but yeah.
Well, just so people know, last time they played, Tennessee was 3 for 18 from 3. Chaz Lanier had probably his worst game. He was 0 for 7 from 3. Ziegler was 0 for 2 from 3. He did have 17 points, but he had 4 turnovers. Yeah, Sports Family and TikTok says I like Kentucky money line. Yeah, listen, that's kind of what we're saying over here is that Kentucky will probably be a little bit of a trendy dog. But I think they either win this game outright or Tennessee covers and is in control of the game. I'm not a Ziegler guy. I'm not really either, but I do like Chaz Lanier, and I like Tennessee's team. Not overly impressed with them, but I like their team. All right, we got 2 more games. Let's finish strong, and then we'll wrap it up and shut it down. Michigan is getting 8 points now against Auburn. Auburn is they opened 8. Sorry, I thought they opened 7.5 and was bet up. I was wrong. Total 151 up to 153. We talked about it when we were recapping. You got to love the way Michigan ended that game against Texas A&M. 31-12 run or something, 54 points in the second half. And then on the flip side, you love the way Auburn has come out in the second half of these games, put away Alabama State after fucking around, and then put away Creighton after fucking around, down 37-35, and they beat them up good 47-33 in the second half. I think Auburn will adjust to whatever it is Michigan's doing. I think Auburn will handle Michigan. I think they're going to make life hell on these guards. I'm not really a big Michigan guard fan. I like Wolf. And then I don't know, Golden against Broome, right? That's the matchup here. Golden has potential. Aren't those are the 2 centers, aren't they?
Nah, I'd say I'm not a ball knower to this aspect, so chat can correct me, but it feels more like Danny Wolf and Janai Broome would be the matchup kind of, but I might be wrong.
So, okay, I could see it. Auburn is just in the right position to do what Auburn needs to do. And that is start blowing motherfuckers out. The last game against Creighton, who showed up? Baker Mazar was 6 for 12 with 17 points. Pettiford, who's a guy off the bench, 7 for 14, 23 points. Broome had a terrible game. He was 4 for 13. He had 12 boards, but he only had 8 points. Kelly was 1 for 8, 1 for 5 from 3. And then Jones had 15 points. So, I mean, they didn't even really do much. They got picked up by
I want to be clear. Pettiford starts literally everywhere. He's just on the bench because it's Auburn. He starts literally everywhere.
So, here's the thing. Broome is probably going to have a bounce back game. Would you agree or disagree? And that's trouble for Michigan. You're right. You're not really into Broome.
I'm not into Auburn, dude. I'm not into Auburn. I don't like what I've seen. Pretty consistently, I don't like what I've seen, to be honest. And everyone's just like waiting for them to get back to like that January form where they looked unbeatable. They don't look unbeatable to me at all. They didn't look unbeatable against Creighton. And yeah, maybe it's trendy. Or I really think I have to back Michigan here, dude. I really, really do.
I think it's a duping. Sports Family and TikTok says Michigan with the points for me. A couple other people are saying Broome has to make his free throws. He's a good player, nothing special. I honestly think if Michigan is hitting threes and they don't turn the ball over, they can keep it close. Yeah, but Michigan not turning the ball over is asking for so much. You turn the ball over against Auburn, dude. Like this isn't. See, here's the thing. Watching Michigan in that first half, Texas A&M was in control, and then they folded. If Auburn gets up on Michigan, Michigan is not coming back. I don't think so. Michigan's going to have to be up in this game like 44-37. It's going to have to be like a UConn, Florida. That's what I think. It's going to have to be like UConn, Florida.
That's why I said if you get a chance to bet Auburn money line and even money, you'd be insane not to do it.
Yes.
But also keep in mind, I'm saying that because I think you're going to get that opportunity because I think Michigan's going to go up early. And I just want to point out one thing. Dusty May took FAU to the Final Four. Then he took over at Michigan after what I would call a disaster for Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard became a disaster. And then not that much expectations, albeit it's Michigan. So you have expectations at every fucking sport you play every year because it's Michigan, but not that much expectations. Started off the year better than expected and kind of had a fall off. And then from the fall off, they got going again and won the Big Ten tournament. And now they're in the Sweet 16. Who has way more fucking pressure? Because Bruce Pearl needs this national championship, man. And there's nothing short of a national championship that is going to be acceptable for Bruce Pearl. And I don't know, dude. Emotional dude. Said his guards weren't pussies on TV fucking a week or two ago. I just could see him crashing so hard. And it really, really makes sense to me that it would be against a guy like Dusty May with fucking two guys who've played in the tournament already as underdogs. And god damn, it's tough for me not to like Michigan here.
Mitch Ross on TikTok says, as much as I'd like to take Auburn, Michigan keeps proving everyone wrong. Well said. Also, what's the biggest game Bruce Pearl has won? Well said. The reason why I'm uncomfortable fading Michigan is the reason I am also uncomfortable fading Arizona. What are you laughing about?
Just the comments. I like the comments.
Okay. So teams that are playing their best version of basketball are teams that I don't want to put money against. And you're right. Auburn's not playing their best version of basketball. But if they find it, teams are in big trouble. A team like Michigan would be in big trouble, I think. My opinion on how they match up. But Michigan, I'm into Michigan. I'm into Michigan more than Special K is, and he's a Michigan diehard. So I think I'm with you, Steak. I think the move here is see if Auburn comes out to another slow start. If Michigan gets up by a few points, and try to take a live line on Auburn. That's what I think I'm going to do. Ride the hot hand with Michigan, honestly. I have no issues with that. I really don't. I have no issues with that.
This is pretty much my take.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay. All right. We still got a packed house in here. You guys are awesome, by the way. We've got 50 plus in YouTube. We got 120 in Twitch. We got 30 in TikTok. You guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for the support. We really appreciate it. Love doing this every morning, 10 a.m. If you're in TikTok, follow the page, go to the website. Make sure you're following and subscribing to the YouTube. We appreciate that too. We're not on Twitter today. Unfortunately, there were some connection issues.
Don't agree. Like lightning right now, I do not agree. I think Michigan at this exact point is playing much, much better basketball than Creighton. And I do want to point out, because we were boots on the ground, Creighton got dominated by DePaul in the Big East tournament and should have lost that game. And there's not beating Louisville. Louisville just fucking was never dialed into that game. And yeah, Michigan playing much better basketball than Creighton right now.
Yeah, will Broom struggle with the Michigan Twin Towers? I don't know. I think he probably has a pretty solid game, but Michigan or Auburn's going to need these dudes that can step up and play well. Baker Mazzara and Pettiford off the bench, and maybe another guard to hit their shots, because I think they're going to find some open looks. Okay, I can also see Michigan guards come back down to earth. That's what I think is going to happen. I just like Auburn guards over Michigan guards.
Yeah. It's fine.
And I think the bigs kind of like will cancel each other out, because I'm a Danny Wolf guy. All right, last game. We're going to shut it down after that. I think we put in some really good work today, Steak. Thank you. It's been great having you back. Purdue and Houston. Similar lines right here. I got to tell you, the way I like to gamble, I like one favorite and I like one dog. And now that I think about it this way, between Auburn being 8-point favorites against Michigan or Houston being 8-point favorites against Purdue, I kind of think I like Houston more than I like Auburn if I had to pick one. But son of a bitch, man, there is certainly a chance it's going to blow up in my face how much I've been calling Purdue soft, how much I've been shitting on them. But I want to remind people, I was into Purdue at the end of the season. They burned me at Indiana, who I don't think is very good. Sorry, Snowman. Burned me big time against Illinois. So, yeah, F Purdue to me right now. I'm with you, Steak. I haven't really been a big Houston guy from what I've seen from them until just recently. Like, I think they kind of punked. You're right. Gonzaga had the ball down 3, but Houston really fell asleep and was sloppy.
Yeah.
They were punking him for most of that game, and I was pretty impressed by it. I don't know, man. It's going to be really hard for me to take Purdue here. Total's 132.5. I like the under. Maybe that's pretty chalky. Maybe that's pretty square. What say you?
I'll go down swinging on my take that Houston is overrated.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. And I think Purdue's a good team to do it with because they're not pretty, but they have all this fucking experience, veteran fucking guards and guys that I don't think will be shook in this game against Purdue, who obviously is known for putting the clamps on. And I think Purdue could easily stay in this game. And so it's good. I'm glad as we've talked it through because I liked like the first 5 favorites. I was getting a little nervous to go full chalk after it was just so chalky in the round of 64 and 32. But I do like a couple of these dogs against these 1 seeds, specifically from the Big Ten. I like Purdue and Michigan to keep these games close.
There's a big Houston fan in here because he's very upset in TikTok. Aiden Traveler. He says that Houston will blow out Purdue. Ooh, Justin says Houston going down, but somebody said Noah, who seems to have a pretty neutral opinion, which I'm going to give attention to. Houston will be able to stop the pick and roll, and Purdue role players won't get as open looks as they have. Yeah, that's my problem with Purdue. They just played McNeese State, who's not good. Not good. Clemson had the worst shooting performance of the tournament. Not good. And High Point, who is High Point. Houston beat Gonzaga, who came out in round 1 and was fucking scary. I think Houston, I keep reminding myself, this feels like one of the most slept on Houston teams in a while. Like, even I don't want to buy into them.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So that's what scares me. And again, I just zoom out. Houston, in my opinion, Michigan has a better chance to beat Auburn than Purdue has a chance to beat Houston. Even though I'm here telling you that I think Auburn is going to win the national championship. I cannot get there with Purdue, but I respect your take. And I respect you doubling down on your take. So for that, I will not talk you off. It's Duke, Florida, Houston, then everyone else. Fair enough. You heard what he said, right? Duke, Florida, Houston, everyone else. I'm telling you, nobody loves Auburn anymore.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Let's do a poll on Twitter.
What's that?
I'm going to make a poll on Twitter after this just to see.
Okay.
Test your
view. Well, how are you going to phrase it?
That's a good question. How should I phrase it? How about this? Pick one team to win the national championship. Duke, Florida, Auburn.
Houston.
No. Oh,
Duke, all 4 of them.
Oh,
yeah.
So put all 4 1 seeds? Okay.
Yep.
Put all 4 1 seeds in that poll. What do you think the results will be?
Duke and Florida are each going to have near 40%.
Wow.
And then
Duke are off Auburn that much? Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That's scary. Yeah. That's scary. I'm making the poll right
now. Yeah. Do it right now.
Okay.
And then we'll recap. How do we feel about Texas Tech? T and TikTok. That is my team. That's my only ticket I have to win it all. So why are we acting like Bama isn't a 1 seed? Really? Oh man, Aiden Travelers. I'm not overly impressed with Bama. Thanks for the follow, Lewis. Florida played their worst game all year. Again, UConn and still won. Yep. I know. Nobody thinks Florida's going to have a bad game again. Duke will be the highest because Florida, the score. All I've heard is Duke and Florida. Correct. Yep. I'm voting Florida. That's why Auburn is a lock. Yep. Do a poll for the most likely upset on Twitter. Please. We'll do that later. All right, guys. Quick recap for you. I like Bama. Thursday, first game. Steak likes Alabama. I'm sorry. I like BYU. Steak likes Bama. I want Maryland to beat Florida. And even though I like Florida, but I'm falling in love with Maryland. But I don't think it's going to happen. I'll probably still bet it just to burn money. Steak says it's Florida. I like the over in that game too. Duke, Arizona. I kind of lean Arizona, but I don't know how I'm going to play this game. Steak doesn't really sound like give you a strong side either. We both like Texas Tech. I would say it's probably one of my favorite plays right now. Ole Miss against Michigan State. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the 3. And I think Ole Miss is going to win. I would say Texas Tech and Ole Miss are my 2 favorite plays. Steak, you think Michigan State's going to win, but it's going to be tight.
Is Ole Miss 3?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. What did that open at? It didn't open at 3, did it?
I think it opened 2.5.
What the fuck? Holy shit.
No. Well, Wager Talk says 4. I saw 2.5 yesterday.
Damn, I thought I saw 4.5, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah, Wager Talk could be wrong.
Damn, that's a crazy fucking spread. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn, Ole Miss getting respect.
BYU lost to Houston 2 times by 30. Okay. Tennessee and Kentucky. I do think Kentucky's gonna be a pretty trendy dog. I have a tough time fading them though. I really do. Kentucky beat
I don't think
Tennessee.
you should because I don't want to hear you bitch about fucking Tennessee at all.
Yeah, you don't want to hear me bitch. I won't put a Tennessee on because I don't want to bitch to you. You'll have enough
Please.
stress in that game. Auburn, Michigan. You like Michigan? I think I'm going to try to see if I can get an Auburn live line, but I lean Auburn. You like two big dogs. I like two big favorites. You like Purdue +8. You're going to go down with it. I respect that a little bit more in a sense. No, I don't. I think that's bolder, I guess I should say, because I don't think people really respect Auburn. And I think Michigan's starting to get a little bit of hype, but I like Michigan the way they're playing basketball. Lean Houston in the under. You made the poll?
I made the poll.
All right.
You want a quick update before we sign off?
Do I want to what?
Quick update before we sign off.
I'm gonna put it in here on.
Damn, you're right. As of right now, there are 92 votes, and you're right. 41% Duke, 35% Florida, 13% Auburn.
No, you're reading that wrong, brother. 9% Auburn. They're the least voted team right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm on the screen, but still, yeah. Either way, you're right.
13% Houston, 9% Auburn. I tried telling you and Greg, you don't understand how people are counting out Auburn. Go vote on the poll. I did watch it. I didn't finish it, though. I got 20 more minutes.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. Got me nervous, kind of.
Auburn just got some votes. They moved from 9% to 12%.
White Lotus recap. We got to do that for the people.
No, I didn't finish it. I didn't finish it.
Didn't finish what?
The episode from last night.
Oh, you didn't?
That wasn't the finale, though, was it?
No, next week's the finale. Okay, fine. I won't give any spoilers. This season sucks ass. Sucks ass. They're fucking building up for fucking nothing. There's nothing you could make happen in the season finale that make up for the fact that 5 episodes are all fucking build up. I'm fucking 2 more episodes. Sorry. You sure about that? Including last night, Greg?
I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I didn't watch the finale yet.
Yeah, positive. He says positive. I trust you. Still not very happy. I'm not happy at all.
I will say the music in the show is growing on me. I liked the character development. I like some of the plot. It's just, you know how the last episode just started where it was a vision where the dad shot himself?
Yes.
If that actually happened.
Correct. Well, no, but the most exciting thing didn't happen.
Exactly. That should have happened. Like the show, that episode should have started like that. And then everything would have been worth it. Cause it was like, hell yeah, here we go. Like shit's going to get crazy.
Close your ears, TikTok, but he better kill himself. I'm serious.
You better. Cornfields knows ball. Anytime Greg says something, there is a really good chance you need to give him about 15 seconds to correct himself.
Is this true? Because I don't think I agree with this statement.
No, I think season 1 and 2 got things actually started happening at this point in the season. Nothing's really happened. It's just like building up to happen, you know?
And then boom, season finale. That's whack.
Snake's definitely going to get us banned on TikTok. That's all right, though. All right, guys. I know they're very sensitive. All right, TikTok, we got to get out of here. Make sure you follow the page. It's been great. Thanks a lot. Buzzing. 700 viewers on TikTok, 16 new followers, 160 comments. We got to show love to the TikTok guys. I know you.
Are we off TikTok?
I just ended it. Yeah.
Damn, we can start just wailing off the R word.
Fuck, shit, cockball. No, stop. No, you can't say whatever you want. All right, guys, thank you very much for hanging out. That was excellent. Steak, thank you for joining and being here. It was great. You were excellent. You were missed. Okay, you were greatly missed. It's good to have you back. I'm looking forward to streaming with you. Budman, nice job on the hoodie giveaway. Congratulations. And who's the other winner? Crutch. Yep, Crutch. Yeah, I see. All right, good night. Have a great day, guys.